What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Spencer taking a look at the new Abyss Actor support. I'm a little late to this party, but I figured I'm gonna go through them, and then just like how I like to do every once in a while when when an archetype gets a bunch of new support, I'll take a look at the new stuff, and then I'll try to judge it like objectively, and then I'm gonna see how it fits in within the context of the archetype. So after this, I'm gonna jump over and we're gonna look at every single Abyss Actor card that has ever existed before this to kind of get a clearer picture of where the deck is now after the new support. So we'll go ahead and take a look here. This is Abyss Actor Liberty Dramatist. This is a This is a Pendulum Effect. I don't know what kind of. I'm guessing it's a Fiend. I think they're all Fiend monsters. I'm not exactly sure though. But you can only use the Pendulum Effect once per turn. When a monster declares an attack, you can discard one card. Special summon this card to your opponent's field. Okay. Interesting. I don't know what that would do, but I'm assuming there is some sort of context that your opponent special summoning a monster. You can only use the first and second effects of this card's name each once per turn. If this card is special summoned from the Pendulum Zone, this card's owner reveals 3 Abyss Actor spells from their deck. Their opponent randomly chooses one of them for this card's owner to set onto their field, but it is destroyed during the end phase. Also, the rest are shuffled back into the deck. That is good. So the thing I think I know that I remember about Abyss Actors, this is like probably the second time I've ever read some of these cards, is that there's good effects. Like I remember, the reason I remember, I played a duel and I harpied his back row. And I'm like, yes, all of his Pendulum Zones are gone and whatever his 3 back row are. That is a very bad thing to do. It gives them like a ton of advantage, like way too much advantage to like overcome. That's the strength of the deck. So I think there's a very good thing. Either you're going to use the card or it's going to destroy it, and that's going to give you some sort of advantage. I think. If this card is destroyed, you can shuffle 1 Abyss Actor spell from your graveyard into the deck. Very nice. A little bit of recursion, so maybe you can play less copies. That's a really nice little secret effect there. Not secret, but, kind of just seems like it's off to the side. But it's actually very good. Okay, there's a new Link monster. This is a Link 2. Okay, I think I missed what this was on the top. It's a Fiend, yeah. Okay, I just didn't read this part. Figured it was somewhere. And this is Abyss Actor Super Producer, Link 2 Fiend. 2 monsters, including a Fiend monster. Huh. Do you play on the tour guide? Maybe. Fiend monsters. It's a free Link 2, right? Your Pendulum summoning, you probably don't need your normal summon. I guess it depends. Because I feel like it's hard to mix Abyss Actor and like Pendulum Magician, because you get locked really quickly in Abyss Actor. So I'm thinking that tour guide might actually be like a real thing. That way you can set up 2 Pendulum Zones as well. It's actually like very good. Yeah, I'll have to see. During the main phase, you can target 1 face-up card you control, destroy it, which is good because I think that gives you advantage. Then you can apply one of these effects. Huh. Is this also not, I can't think, Underworld, Chain? Geez. I think it's the archetype that when the cards get destroyed, they special summon a different version of itself. I can't think of the dang name. That'll pop up to me probably later in the video. But that's kind of funny because that's a Fiend archetype too, and obviously you get advantage from that. I would not be surprised if this is like teched in that deck. But during the main phase, you can target 1 face card you control, destroy it, then you can apply one of these effects. Place 1 Abyss Actor Fantastic Theater from your deck in the field zone. I don't know what the field spell does, but obviously that's probably pretty good. Place 1 Abyss Actor Pendulum monster from your deck into your Pendulum Zone. Great. That is what makes Electromite so good. So yeah, that's obviously. I think the Link one is also like good support as well. So I think that's probably like much better than the first card. Although I guess it kind of depends. Special summon from the Pendulum Zone. I don't know if they have ability to do that. Meteor Burst Dragon would probably be kind of interesting. Because when this is special, like it's special to your opponent's field, right? Yeah, that's very strange. I wonder how that works. This is Abyss Actor Dress Rehearsal. Normal spell. At the start of your main phase 1, add 1 Abyss Actor card and 1 Abyss Script spell from your deck to your hand. Also, you cannot Pendulum summon monsters for the rest of this turn after this card effect resolves, except Abyss Actor monsters. This archetype is kind of like known for locking you for whatever reason. But of course, you get to go, +2, but really +1 in card advantage, right? You get to add an Abyss card and an Abyss script, which both of those cards could probably give you a bunch of advantage in and of itself. So obviously this card's like pretty insane. These cards are very good so far, especially the last two. Dramatic Story. This is another normal spell. You can only activate one card with this card's name per turn. Target one Abyss actor Pendulum monster you control. Special summon one Abyss actor Pendulum monster with a different name from your deck, then either place that target in your Pendulum zone or destroy it. Okay, that's quite interesting, actually. That's a very interesting, like, mechanic. So you're going to take one that you control, and then pretty much probably always put it as one of your Pendulum scales. If there's a good normal summon of an Abyss actor, like, that would obviously be even, like, much better. If this set card in its owner's control is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, and you have a face-up Abyss actor Pendulum monster in your extra deck, you can return up to 2 cards on the field to the hand. So I think, yeah, that's a very common theme of what they do. Something when they get destroyed. Although, if your opponent just harpies, like, this obviously would not be very good. I've always thought, though, that, like, is the archetype that you're not supposed to play with this artifact? I would imagine. Like, I feel like I'm actually going to try to, like, build that deck, because that also forces your opponent to destroy your back row, which, of course, is going to give you advantage. At least you would think. So that might be worth, checking out. I don't know if they have any level 6s, because I think that's what the Lancia XYZ does. When your opponent activates effects, it's like changed to your opponent destroys one of your back row. Okay, so now we can go ahead and hop over to just the software to look at all the other Abyss Actor cards. Let's see what we're working with. I know about one, because it's used commonly as just a regular free special summon in Pendulum decks. Okay, this is Abyss Actor Evil Heal. Pendulum, you contribute one Abyss Actor monster and then target one face-up monster your opponent controls. It loses attack equal to the original attack of the tributed monster. Early Pendulum monsters had a lot of effects like that. That was almost like exclusively kind of like, they're like battle phase type Pendulum effects. If this card is normal or special summon, you could target one face-up monster your opponent controls. It loses 1,000 attack for each Abyss Actor monster you currently control until the end of the turn. Yeah, I mean, it's just... Oh, it's even a level 8, which just, like, makes it much worse. They'll even have high scales. Oh, okay, they have a 9. But that's, like, the only... I mean, the effect isn't that good anyway, so it's probably not an inclusion in the deck at all. Abyss Actor Superstar. You contribute one Abyss Actor monster and then target one Abyss script in your graveyard. Add it to your hand. I'm curious to know... There's got to be a few of these that activate on tribute. Like, at least you would think so. Although it's almost like, it's obviously not the end of the world, because when you tribute a Pendulum, it goes to the face-up extra deck to be Pendulum summoned. So even if there is none, like, it's not the worst cost in the world. When normal or special summon, your opponent's spells and trap cards and effects cannot be activated. Once per turn, you can set one Abyss script spell directly from your deck, but send it to the graveyard during the end phase. See, this would be a good one with the new spell, right? You normal summon it, you set an Abyss script spell, and then you can just, like, activate it to replace it and put this in the Pendulum zone. I forget what it was called, but yeah, I think that would be, like, a pretty good example of how that card could work. I forget what it does. Like, it places in the Pendulum zone. I think it summons one from the deck, which is great. Like, it's just a really good interaction, actually. It's almost like better, right? The fact that it places in the Pendulum zone makes a really big difference. Abyss Actor Mellow Madonna. Pendulum Effect. You can pay 1,000 life points. Add Abyss Actor Pendulum monster from your deck to your hand, except a copy of itself. Also, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of the turn except Abyss Actor Pendulum monsters, even if this card leaves the field. Wow. That's really bad. You can't even summon the link after this? If I'm reading that right, you get to add an Abyss Actor Pendulum monster, but you can't special summon... You should say, like, from your hand or something. Or, like, it should just say Abyss Actor monsters. That's so terrible. That's so bad. Okay. Monster Effect. Unless I'm just, like, reading it wrong. But Monster Effect gains 100 attack for each Abyss script spell in your graveyard. It's at 1,800. It's fine. You can only use each of the following effects of this card once per turn. When a Pendulum monster you control is destroyed by battle, you can special summon this card from your hand. If an Abyss Actor spell or effect is activated, you can special summon one level 4 lower Abyss Pendulum monster from your deck, but return it to the hand during the end phase. Okay. Thank goodness. Like, the monster effect is good. Like, I can't imagine there's a good situation. Unless they added, like, good main deck support, like boss monsters, like akin to Endymion, but they did not do that. So, but at least the monster effect is pretty darn decent. Okay, this is Abyss Actor Sassy Rookie. What a name. Pendulum Effect. If an Abyss Actor monster you control would be destroyed by battle or an opponent's card effect, you can destroy this card instead. Not bad. The first time this card would be destroyed by battle or card effect, it is not. If this card is destroyed by battle, or if this card in its owner's monster zone is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, you can special summon one level 4 or lower Abyss Actor monster from your deck, except a copy of itself. If this card in the Pendulum Zone is destroyed, you can target one level 4 or lower monster your opponent controls, destroy it. Huh. That's like so niche. Like, what a random effect to have, level 4 or lower. And that's not a very common. I wish it said level or rank 4 lower. That would be like a much better. But this is probably, it probably just doesn't push the envelope enough. You know what I mean? I don't think that this is good enough to kind of include in a modern deck. Considering what like main deck monsters like normally do for other decks, like this just doesn't like add up to the bill. Abyss Actor Wild Hope. Pendulum Effect. Once per turn, you can target an Abyss Actor card in your other Pendulum Zone. Its Pendulum Scale becomes 9. Also, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of the turn except Abyss Actor monsters. Like, thank goodness that is this effect. Like, it's not Abyss Actor Pendulum monsters, it's Abyss Actor monsters. So as long as they get like actually good monsters, that would be great. Okay, once per turn, monster effect. You can make this card gain 100 attack for each Abyss Actor monster you currently control with different names until the end of this turn. Ugh. It's like barely, it's like hard to get over 2,000. If this card is destroyed by battle or a card effect, you can add one Abyss Actor card from your deck to your hand. The good thing about the monsters is that they do have like pretty good recursion, at least so far, if you decide to play any of these. They kind of all have effects when they're destroyed by battle or card effect. This deck really kind of specializes, I think, in card advantage. It's just the cards don't do anything. That's the problem. Abyss Actor Leading Lady. Pendulum Effect. Once per turn, when you take battle damage from an opponent's attacking monster, you can activate one of these effects. That opponent's monster loses attack equal to the damage you took, even if this card leaves the field. You can add one face-up Abyss Actor Pendulum monster from your extra deck to your hand. So not very good so far. Monster Effect. Once per turn, when battle damage is inflicted, you can target one face-up monster your opponent controls. It loses attack equal to that battle damage. That card's just not good. This is just a free special summon, and it gains a little bit of attack if you control no monsters. But you can send one Abyss script spell from your deck to the graveyard, add one face-up Abyss Actor Pendulum monster from your extra deck to your hand. It actually does have an effect, which is so funny. Like, I've actually like probably never read that before in my life. All I've ever used it for is the Pendulum Effect, which is pretty funny. So I guess it does do something pretty cool. We'll see if any of these have any good effects when sent to the graveyard. I don't think the new ones did. At least I don't remember. This is the scale 9. This is Abyss Actor Twinkle Little Star. You cannot pendulum summon monsters except Abyss Actor monsters. This card effect cannot be negated. Once per turn, you can target one Abyss Actor monster you control. This turn, you can make up to 3 attacks on monsters during each battle phase. Also, other monsters you control cannot attack for the rest of the turn. Interesting. Okay, the monster effect can't be destroyed by battle during your turn. Alright, random. This card can make up to 3 attacks on monsters during each battle phase. There's got to be a way to boost the attack. I mean, that would be pretty... It's a pretty interesting effect for a monster. Abyss Actor Comic Relief. You can target one Abyss Actor Pendulum monster you control and one monster your opponent controls. Switch control of both monsters. Then destroy this card. Okay. That's pretty good. It does target, but that's not the end of the world. If this has an effect on destruction, that would be interesting. If you take no battle damage from attacks involving this card. Once per turn, during your standby phase, give control of this card to your opponent. Once per turn, if control of this card change, activate this effect. The owner of this card can destroy one set Abyss script spell in their spell and trap zone. Alright. It's unfortunate if it was destroyed and if it like searched a card, that'd be like really, really good. But that's still really nice. That's not a bad effect at all. So this is probably one that you definitely want to include. It's just a way to steal your opponent's monsters. It's a scale 8, which is always good. This is Abyss Actor Trendy Understudy. Okay. When you Pendulum Summon a monster, you can add 1 face-up level 1 or 8 Abyss Actor Pendulum monster from your extra deck to your hand. It's not bad. Especially if you like Pendulum Summon your hand away and then you grab something from your face-up extra deck. Then you can like normal summon it if you weren't able to summon it right there. If you have 2 Abyss Actor monsters in your Pendulum zones, you can tribute this card, special summon 1 level 1 or 8 Abyss Pendulum monster from your hand or face up from your extra deck. Oh, interesting. Like, isn't that the point of Pendulum summoning? I don't know. That card's just not very good, I feel like. This is Abyss Actor Funky Comedian Pendulum Effect. You can tribute 1 Abyss Actor monster and then target 1 Abyss Actor monster you control. It gains attack. Yeah, I mean, I think the idea is that you're boosting your main deck monsters, but like if your main deck Pendulum monsters are based on boosting the attack of the other Pendulums, that's just like not a very good like situation to be in. I feel like the main deck monsters like don't have any disruption. That's like their biggest issue. All right. Monster effect. If this card is normal or special summon, you can make this card gain 300 attack for each Abyss monster you currently control until the end of this turn. So the idea is you're supposed to have multiples on them, and they keep like all the other ones boost the attack of like all of them, which is just like not very good. You can target 1 other Abyss Actor monster you control. It gains attack equal to this card's current attack until the end of the turn. This card cannot attack the turn it is activated, but you're probably like you want to give it to this card, Twinkle Little Star, try to boost it like what 3,000. But it sucks it can't make just 3 attacks. 3 attack on monsters. Like that already enough is like that is a big issue for some like OTK decks. Is that like a lot of their boss monsters depend on your opponents controlling multiple monsters, and sometimes they're just going to control one like defense position one. So like the multiple attack on monsters like does like nothing at all. Abyss Actor Extras. Pendulum Effect. If your opponent controls a monster, you can special summon this card from your Pendulum zone. I mean, it's not bad, I guess. You can tribute this card, place 1 Abyss Actor Pendulum monster from your deck in your Pendulum zone. Also, for the rest of the turn, you cannot special summon monsters except Abyss Actor monsters, nor activate the Pendulum Effect of Abyss Actor Extras. Oh, jeez. Is that what this is? What is extra? Abyss Actor Extra. I feel like I'm missing it. Oh, okay. Oh, it's the name of the card. Oh, I'm so stupid. Oh, okay. You just can't use like who cares? Who cares? I'm like, where is this Abyss Actor Extras? Pretty sure I said it when I first started reading the card too. Don't judge me. Abyss Script, Rise of the Abyss King. This is a normal spell. Target face-up cards on the field up to the number of attack position Abyss Actor monsters with different names you control. Destroy them. It's a good card. I remember this one is pretty decent. It's face-up cards too, which obviously has like a very broad like it's good. It gets rid of Mystic Mind too. If you control a level 7 or higher Abyss Actor monster, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects in response to this card's activation. Again, very good. If this set card in its owner's control is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, you can have a face-up Abyss Actor Pendulum monster in your extra deck. You can add up to 2 Abyss Actor cards or Abyss Script spells with different names from your deck to your hand. So this card does a tremendous amount. Yeah, this card does a lot. That's pretty good. So the idea is that you're tributing, like a lot of these ones have to do with like tributing themselves, and that's how it works with having that face-up card. So that's a very easy condition to get off. So this card is good, disrupting your opponent. It's also good for like adding cards. This is like, man, this is like, if the deck is ever good, it's going to be a big reason going to be because of this card. Okay, Abyss Script, Opening Ceremony. You gain 500 life points for each Abyss Actor monster you control. If this set card in its owner's control is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, and you have a face-up Abyss Actor Pendulum monster in your extra deck, you can draw until you have 5 cards in your hand. Whoa. That is pretty good. Whew. Again, I think if you can play I'm going to look it up now. Artifact. It's the XYZ, and I think its effect is When a monster effect is activated or when a normal spell trap card is activated, you can attach materials to this card. The activated effect becomes destroy one spell trap card your opponent controls. And then you can attach a material from this card. Each player with a hand shuffles their entire hand into the deck, then draws the same number of cards they shuffled. Interesting. But I think that would be pretty darn good, because if your opponent is forced to destroy one of these back row, that would be cool beans. And then you can just get like a bunch of advantage after you pendulum summon and like go through your combos or whatever. I can see it forming now. Abyss Script Fire Dragon's Lair. That's crazy. It's a cool card art. Target one Abyss Actor monster you control. If it destroys your opponent's monster by battle this turn, your opponent banishes 3 monsters from their extra deck. Alright. If this set card in its owner's control is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, and you have a face of Abyss Actor Pendulum monster in your extra deck, you can look at your opponent's extra deck, also banish 1 monster from the extra deck. That's not bad, obviously, like at all. It's just unfortunate that Abyss Actors lock you like so harshly. Like, anytime you use any of their effects, you can only special summon a Pendulum or Abyss Actors, not even Pendulum monsters. I feel like if that restriction wasn't here, there's a lot more you could do with this deck. Actually, this is also pretty interesting. Does Tornado Dragon have to destroy your opponent's spell engine traps? No. Okay, well, obviously Tornado Dragon has to be a big include in this deck. Lots of level 4s, obviously, so that would be awesome. That'd be really good. Also, it's like a disruption, quote unquote, during your. I mean, it's it's what's it called? I can't think of the dang name. What is the destroy 1 spell and trap? I can't think of any cards right now. And this is a spell card. I'm gonna feel so stupid. No. I can't believe I can't think of this stupid name. Whatever. It's the card that destroys 1 spell and trap on the field. It's been around forever. Mystical Space Typhoon. I know some Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Okay. Abyss Script Fantasy Magic. Target 1 Abyss Actor monster you control. This turn, every monster that battles it but is not destroyed returns to the hand at the end of the damage step. So this is a going second deck, like, which is so bad. I feel like Pendulum monsters are not designed for that. But at least you can get use out of these cards during the first turn. Like that's a very important factor. Abyss Script Romantic Terror. Return 1 Abyss Actor Pendulum monster you control to the hand. And if you do, special summon from the extra deck in defense position 1 face-up Abyss Actor Pendulum monster with a different original name than that monster. If this set card in its owner's control is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, and you have a face-up Abyss Actor Pendulum monster in your extra deck, you can set any number of Abyss Script spells directly from your deck. Whoa. Wow, you can set any number of Abyss Script spells directly from your deck. That is really good. Man, some of these spells are just bananas. It's unfortunate not like spellcasters or something, and you could play like Secret Village. This is Abyss Script Abyssment. You contribute 1 Abyss Actor monster, then target 1 Abyss Script spell in your graveyard, set it to your field. You can only use this effect once per turn, or twice per turn. Random. This is the most random archetype ever, with just the effects that you don't read on other cards. If this set card is destroyed by an opponent's card effect and you have a face-up Abyss Actor Pendulum monster, you can special summon any number of Abyss Actor Pendulum monsters from your deck. Whoa. Yeah, that is really cool. Really like that, actually. This is Abyss Prop Wild Wagon. The first time each Abyss Actor monster you control would be destroyed by battle. Each turn, it is not destroyed. Once per turn, you can target 1 Abyss Actor monster you control. Your opponent cannot target it with card effects until the end of this turn. If this set card is destroyed, you can have a face-up Abyss Actor Pendulum monster in your extra deck. You can have... Oh, you can return all cards your opponent controls from the hand. Okay, if you meet the conditions... Alright. I just, like... The only problem is, like, these cards are all pretty decent, for sure. But like, you're going to be running into your opponent's board, right? It's a battle phase. There's all these going second cards. I just don't feel like that's very good, you know? It's like you have 4 pendulums in your hand and, like, this card. Like, is that enough to break any board that I can, like, even think of off the top of my head? Like, probably not. Abyss Playhouse Fantastic Theater. And it just needs if it has like extra deck monsters, that would change everything. Like the new Pendulum's good for sure, but it's not. It's like not enough, right? It needs some sort of boss monster. It just doesn't have one yet. Abyss Playhouse Fantastic Theater. You can reveal one Abyss Actor Pendulum monster and one Abyss Script spell in your hand. Add one Abyss Script spell from your deck to your hand with a different name than the revealed spell. While you control a Pendulum summoned Abyss Actor Pendulum monster, any monster effect activated by your opponent becomes destroy one set spell your opponent controls. Okay, well, that's obviously very good. I figured it would be. So the new Pendulum just grabs this from the deck, which pretty much makes every field spell usable. Abyss Actor Curtain Call. If an Abyss Script spell card or effect is activated this turn, add face-up Abyss Actor Pendulum monsters from your extra deck to your hand up to the number of Abyss Script spells in your graveyard. Then you can special summon Abyss Actor Pendulum monsters from your hand with different names up to the number of monsters added to your hand by this card effect. Yeah, I just don't like the ones that restrict you into Abyss Actor Pendulum monsters. I think that's bad. It doesn't really do anything either, right? Abyss Actor Backstage. If you have two Abyss Actor cards in your Pendulum Zone, add two Abyss Actor Pendulum monsters with different names from your deck to your extra deck face up. It's definitely good follow-up. There's no doubt about that. So this one's kind of iffy. And I think the Link one's good. Okay, one Abyss Actor Pendulum monster. You can target one face-up card in your Pendulum Zone, special summon it. Okay, well, that I figured. There's one, one of the new cards has that effect when it's special summoned. I figured they had to be a way. So here it is. Then you can place one Abyss Actor Pendulum monster with a different name from your deck or face-up extra deck to your Pendulum Zone. Also, you cannot normal or special summon monsters for the rest of the turn except Abyss Actor monsters. Okay, good. Abyss Actor monsters, because the cards can only get better with extra deck, right? But you don't. The ones that restrict you into Pendulum monsters, bad. Unless the extra deck monsters are like a Pendulum XYZ, which obviously that is a very rare case. But I guess they could do it if they really wanted to. And then you can only use the effect once per turn. It's really not horrible. This is not the worst thing I've ever heard in my entire life, but it needs some better main deck Pendulums. If that's like the way the deck is going, then you got to design, the archetype that way. And right now it's only like attack boosting, not like it doesn't even negate effects during like the battle phase, which you think like that would probably be the way to go about it. But at least the new cards are good and it's trending in the right direction. I think that's all you can ask for. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. Other than that, that's going to do it for today's video, and I'll see you guys next time.